Hello, my name is Ashley Hannah, and I like to read, like a lot. And one of my favorite genres to read is fantasy. And this past year, I embarked upon the journey of reading The Lord of the Rings in its entirety, minus the Silmarillion, because I don't even know where to start with that one. But I figured, what's the next big high fantasy you should try, Ashley Hannah? And I said to myself, Game of Thrones, or A Game of Thrones to be specific. So, this video is just me reading A Game of Thrones, seeing if I can enjoy it. So if you wanna know my thoughts and my opinions, stick around, find out, and yeah, let's get into the video. This is our first crappy car iPhone quality check-in to say, I'm already enjoying this immensely. There's a lot of characters and I'm slightly overwhelmed, but I love this. I love this world. I love how the characters are talking. I love how, okay, so what's happened? What's happened? So I've gotten through the prologue, check, and it was a bit difficult because like it's not giving you too much. So it was a bit difficult to not keep up, but like go, okay, I'll know some more stuff about this place later. But basically, winter's coming and a guy died. And then we jump into some other chapters with Bran, our 7-year-old. And okay, tell me why I want a dire wolf now. I want one. I'm not even a dog person, and I still want one. Oh gosh, Jon Snow. I feel like I'm gonna like him. And the thing is, I've heard all of these names before because the Game of Thrones zeitgeist is large, plentiful, it's out there, everyone knows it. So I know all these names because I've heard them, but I don't know to whom the characters refer to. I just know names. So when I hear Jon Snow and Arya Stark and Sansa and Daenerys, I'm like, yep, I've heard those names before. But actually learning who they are is another thing, because I've already had one chapter with Daenerys, and I don't know if I knew this, but she's 13. She's got violet eyes like Miss Elizabeth Taylor, and she's being sold to Khal Drogo. So we're already like knee deep in all of the, I hate to say this word, lore. So I'm really enjoying this. It's a good time. I'm only 87 pages into this bad boy, and so much is happening. I almost cannot stand it. So much is happening. Okay, wait. So, also, I think I might have spoiled myself for something because I was getting confused by all the names. So I ended up Googling somebody, and then I found out something that's like pretty, I feel like, spoilery. So, unfortunately, I think I spoiled myself. But regardless, okay, so I love Arya Stark, but I'm pretty sure everyone does. I love her relationship with Jon Snow. I love Jon Snow. Oh my gosh, Tyrion Lannister, his little moment with Jon Snow, iconic, just amazing. I feel like I should like write. I feel like he's gonna drop some really astute nuggets of wisdom, and I feel like I should write them down and have them tattooed on me somewhere. What else? Oh, there's just so much happening. Little Bran is dead because he was climbing and doing things that little 7-year-olds shouldn't do, and he overheard some things that he shouldn't have heard. And I did think it was funny that he watched the Queen and that other dude, and it looked like they were wrestling, and he was like, they're wrestling. And it was like, yeah. And then bye bye for him. I can already tell that this Joffrey is a no good dirty Dan. So that's going to be interesting to watch play out. There's just so much being set up at this moment in time that I'm just so curious about. And I'm like, ooh, how is this going to play out? Like, who's like, I'm afraid for everyone. I know, do I know? I've heard certain things about certain things. I've heard certain things about certain people. So, but I'm still very much so in the dark. There's just so many Starks and Lannisters, so I'm just trying to keep up with all of the names. But other than that, I love this already. I'm not even 100 pages in. But that's what I was going to say. Also, I love that Riddick named his direwolf Shaggy Dog because it's just cute. Like, Shaggy Dog. That's probably the most realistic name for one of those direwolves. Shaggy Dog. I love it. Okay. Okay, so apparently I jumped to conclusions. Bran is not dead. He could be crippled though. And am I reading this wrong? Or are the twins, Jaime and Cersei Lannister, were they the people in that room when he saw them? If so, I knew there was some of that in this book, but I didn't think it would be so soon. Okay. Onward. Hello, peoples. I look rough because my life is in shambles, but no more than any other person, so can't complain too much. The update for right now is that rest in peace, Lady the Direwolf, and of course that stable guy, stable kid, because Joffrey, aka Draco Malfoy, my father will hear about this, Lannister, he got mad because somebody beat him, and he told his mommy, and then some stuff happened. And then, so I was really sad about Lady, and Sansa, of course, is really sad. But then we have Caitlyn, don't know how to say her name. She has come to her husband because someone tried to kill her. Because they're still trying to get this little boy, aka Bran, because he knows things. So luckily Bran is fine. He woke up, but now we're trying to frame Tyrion? No, absolutely not. Not my boy Tyrion. So much is happening. We're starting to get like some feuds between the families. I cannot wait. Is that it? I think I'm 25% in, and it's slow going, but not in a bad way. It's just like I have very little time to devote to this book. So I'm trying to like do it in little short bursts and enjoy the entire thing. I am on page 355, and Ned Stark is reminding me of, and I know that Ned Stark came before this character, but he's reminding me of Dalinar from the Stormlight Archives. He just seems like such an honorable man, and like he should be king. I want him to be king. Why can't he be king instead of Robert? I don't really like Robert. I know I'm not supposed to like Robert, but I don't like Robert. So, while we're on the subject, favorite characters. Ned, obviously. Ned and Arya. Okay, so here are my favorite Starks. Ned, Arya, Jon. I don't know a lot about Robb. All I know is that he's back at Winterfell doing his thing. Bran's cool, but, you know, Bran's going through some things right now. I really like Tyrion Lannister. Of course, I love Daenerys. And is that all the characters that I like so far? I feel like I would have known about more characters. Are these all the characters that are in this novel? Are there going to be more? Who knows? Not me. Oh, yeah, but on the thing of honor. So, currently, we have people trying to secure the crown, the hierarchy of like the whole empire or whatever, however you would say it. And Robert has gotten word that Daenerys is with child. The 14-year-old has Khal Drogo's kid in her belly. So they're like, we need to kill her. And Ned's like, that there's no honor in that. So I'm loving Ned and his character. And I love that whole scene where Arya's in the tunnels and she overhears those two people talking about like the whole plot. And because I know who Jon Stark's mom is, because I saw that stupid spoiler. Don't Google things before you read them. I kind of know how this is gonna go, but I don't know when people are gonna find out. And I know that this book series actually isn't finished, so I'm wondering when people find out what book it's to happen in. I don't know. So yeah, I have about that much through. And how many pages does this book have? This book has a little less, like 830 pages. So, gonna keep trucking. Over halfway done with Game of Thrones, and the update for now is that George, I'm just gonna call you George, we're on a first name basis now. George is capable of making me uncomfortable in a couple sentences. The scene that comes to mind is when Lysa, is that her name? I think it's how you pronounce her name. Catelyn's sister, when she's breastfeeding her 6-year-old child. That one that makes me uncomfy. Although, you know, I might have been breastfed until I was, I'm not gonna say that age. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that scene, uncomfy to the max. And then, oh my gosh, the scene I just read was the one where, Ned like confronts Cersei about how she is incestuous with her twin brother, and that whole scene, her justification of like why it's fine if she's, you know, having children with her twin brother, crazy. Which, I mean, if it's not, is it weird in this society? I know that the Targaryens, they are known for incest, and that's just fine in their culture. I guess it's not fine in Ned's world, because he seems like he's like, ew. So that was something. And then clearly we're just looking for the heir, or like the king of the realm. So that's where we're going, what we're looking for. And yeah, we're just, at this point, we're just warring with the different families. And I just know that the Lannisters are terrible, except for Tyrion Lannister. He rules. He's amazing. He's great. And then Jon Snow. Jon Snow is he's got such a good heart. I can't wait for what happens with his character. Okay, so those are the things. And yeah, I got about 40% left. We're gonna keep it pushing. Ooh, I cannot lie. I am so glad that Viserys is no longer. He was getting on my nerves. Oh my gosh. But that was a really, like, not the most gruesome. And that's the thing. Let me turn this off. These scenes I thought were going to be more gruesome, and they're not like Pretty Little Rainbow scenes for sure. But the way I had thought it up in my head was like, oh, they're going to be so gritty and gory and bleh and like, you know, HBO. But it's actually not. It's actually palatable. But, you know, that scene where they're like, Viserys is like, give me my crown. And Khal Drogo's like, here, my dear, here you go. And then like, he just kills him with the molten gold. Like, ugh. But it was so good. I liked it. Yet again, I was almost punked by George. He made me kind of think that Ned was killed right then and there for being, you know, a traitor and treasonous. Luckily, I read on, so I know that that's not the case. He's still alive, but he is now, you know, he's a traitor to the crown. Because he obviously doesn't want to give, when Robert, the fact that, okay, I'm going all of it out of order, but Robert was killed by a pig, which I find funny. I think it's funny. So, he is given the task as the king's hand to do this, that, and the other. And, he doesn't want to. So, the Lannisters, rally against him. And now Ned is being held captive. So now I'm just really scared for all the Starks because they're all so scattered. And I don't like that for them. That's, and then, oh my gosh, Sansa. Okay, so I understand that she is but a wee lass, not yet a woman, but she's being so stupid and so childish, and she's so focused on one thing that she's forgetting to like open her eyes. Like Arya is way smarter than Sansa. And Sansa just like, she is gonna become a pawn for these people, and I know it now, and I'm just sad about it. Now I feel like she's betraying her family. So yeah, that's where we are right now, and I don't want to know where this is gonna go. I feel like it's gonna escalate more. Okay, I'm really quite sad that I didn't get to update for this book more than I have recently, but if you can tell from my demeanor, and I don't think it sounds like it in my voice, I got sick, so got the flu. So all I could do really yesterday and the past couple of days has been watch teen movies such as Fallen and Paper Towns and what was the other one? Oh, The Edge of 17. But I digress. I did, however, finish Game of Thrones, and this is upside down. I finished Game of Thrones. So, I really, really liked this. It was not what I was expecting, because I had a thought in my mind, I had a visual in my mind of something that was just going to be like too much. And it was not too much. It was just enough. And okay, so I don't know where I left off. What I think where I left off was that I was mad at Sansa because she wrote that stupid little letter to her family saying, you know, Daddy's gonna commit, or he's going to admit to treason. This is in a terrible place. Anyhoozle, she said, Daddy's going to, if Daddy admits to treason, they will pardon us, and, you know, we'll be fine. And Catelyn's like, the silly girl, no, that's not going to happen at all. She's being held captive, and the fact is, Sansa didn't even know she's being held captive until she knew she's being held captive. I'm going to get heated. Okay. So, and the fact that the fact that Sansa didn't even mention Arya, she'd forgotten about her completely. And then when we see Arya, she's just roaming around the streets looking like a little boy and just being smart. Arya is smart. Love her. And, the fact that, okay, so when I thought that Ned was dead, and then it was like, oh, he's fine, and then they just behead him, just like a couple chapters later, I was like, no, not Ned, the Honorable. So that was really heart-wrenching to me. Like, the deaths that we did have in this book, they got me. Not to fast forward too much, but Khal Drogo, we'll get to it. So what happens after that? And then we captured Jaime Lannister. Oh my gosh, I don't actually know. Would all of this have happened if Catelyn hadn't taken Tyrion Lannister hostage? I can't tell. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Who's to say? But I do like the way that Robb Stark, manages the war with the Lannisters. I liked that. The actual war itself, I'm not a very, fight scene action war girly, so those scenes, like the 70% mark and on to, 87%, my interest was waning, but then we got right back in it, and I was like, okay. Because we had Sansa dealing with the aftermath of her, saying that she would, she would marry Prince Joffrey and she would do as they wanted, and she finds out that, he's not a good egg. And I fear for her in the next book because it's going to be rough for her. I can already tell it. Oh, so veering off of the main plot for right now, the magic in this world. I feel like there's not a lot of magic right now, but I think that's fine because I feel like it's going to ramp up because we have talk about it a little bit, but you don't really know a lot about it. So that was very, it's leading me, I guess. And then, another random thing. I want to know, is Hodor part giant?
Are there giants in this world? I think there are, because that girl was like, there were giants, and they mated with, who did they mate with? The women giants had babies with normal men, I believe. So Hodor is a giant. And poor Bran and Rickon, they both have dreams about their dad being dead, and then it turned out that he is. And oh, another random thing. Why is it that whenever I heard and read the word or read the name Rhaegar, that I automatically thought, like, in my head, it was like Raygun. And then I was like, oh no, now I'm thinking about Raygun. So that was not fun for me. But the whole like Targaryen thing. So after Daenerys's brother is killed, then oh my gosh. So let's just talk about her for a second. So she really comes into her own and becomes a queen and mother of dragons. She becomes like, she levels up. She has her evolution, as the Pokemon would say. And Khal Drogo, is he dead? I know he died, but then, okay, so with that like magic lady, the whole thing was she was gonna keep him alive because he gets his nipple ripped off and like gets an infection and starts to die. And she's like, if you heed my words and do all this stuff, you won't. But then he doesn't heed the words. He drinks the poppy milk. He doesn't, he doesn't put on the poultice of whatever, and he's dying. And so then Daenerys is like, okay, you need to do this and help me and do like a sacrifice. And so she thinks they're gonna sacrifice like a horse, but then it ends up sacrificing her baby. Her bebe. And then it wasn't even worth it. So I'm just like, ugh. But if that baby had lived, would it have been like an abomination? Because it said it had like a tail and wings. It was an actual dragon. So I'm like, maybe it's a good thing it didn't get to live. New angle, because I had to change like my battery thrice because there were none that had power in them. What are they talking about? Her baby didn't get to live. So is she just not able to have kids? But then she has her like little dragon baby, so that's cool. Right? I guess. I'm not a fan of dragons, which is like, it's wild that I read this book because I don't like dragons. I just don't. Like, that's why I don't want to read Priory of the Orange Tree, because apparently it has dragons in it. I'm not a dragon fan. And like Fourth Wing, Fourth Wing was not my cup of tea. But yeah, okay, so I want Sansa to get with that Loras guy of Tyrell. Is that what his name was? Sir Loras. Whatever he was. I want her to get with him. What else do I want? I want Jon Snow to have a family. That's what I really want. I know that his people of the Night Watch are like his family now. And oh my gosh, so he tries to leave the service of the Night's Watch, because he's like, yo, the only parent I've ever had is dead, so let me go. And they're like, no, honey, you took an oath. And also, like, the fact that we have these families waging these wars, but there's literal White Walkers just like walking around, and they're like, we have bigger fish to fry. So like, come on and be with us, be present, and help us like, save the Seven Realms or whatever. And that's where I'm like, okay, that must be expanded upon obviously later on in the books, because there's like not a lot of them in this book. So that was very interesting. Oh yeah, so I just want Jon Snow to have a family. But also, okay, one of my favorite scenes was like a little scene where Arya is looking back at a time where her brothers tried to scare them, and like Jon comes out like Jon comes out of like a tomb or whatever, in flour, so that he looks like a ghost. And it just was like, it was so cute. Like their sibling bond that they have, like even with Jon Snow. Cutie. Like, if you have siblings, And then another terrible scene in which I can't even fault Tyrion for fighting on the side that he's on, because his dad, and they took his brother, so like, loyalty or whatever. But if I were Tyrion, I would say F all my family. Like, the fact that he gets married to like a known hooer, and they like play a whole trick on him, and that was his first love. Tyrion. Tyrion and Jon Snow deserve so much better. And I don't think I talked about this, but at the very beginning, honestly, when Catelyn is like when Bran takes his tumble and is not known if he's gonna live, she's like, I wish it had been Jon Snow. And I get it, honey. I get it. You believe that your husband has cheated on you and sired a bastard kid, and like usually you don't have to see them every day. I get that. But he was just a kid. And the fact that she never thinks of him as part of the family because she's so insecure. Girl, be above it. Rise above it. Rise above it. So yeah, he feels like part of the family, but then when it comes to Catelyn, it's just like, it's a non-starter. She's like, nope, you will never be part of this family. And she's like, please, whatever you do, take the bastard with you. And okay, so I think that's all of my thoughts. It probably is not all my thoughts because there was a lot that happened in this book. And if you read it, you know a lot happens in this little chunker in 800 pages of stuff. And after all of that, winter is still coming. So I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I'm scared for all the characters, and I think I need a break from this world because it was just like, what the heck is going to happen to these people? And yeah, will the Targaryens rise above everyone? Will they be the champions? Who knows? Okay, those are my thoughts. That was all of this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go and probably sleep a little bit because I'm still feeling ill. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're wondering what I made during this video, crochet-wise, I made this little froggy that looks really cute and cheeky and is listed on my Etsy shop. So if you want to go buy that, do it. And I will say I have to take a break from crocheting because my hitchhiker's thumb is not doing well. It got stuck like this the other day, so I think I need to take a break. It might be time to hang up my crochet hook for a second. Okay. Bye.